best game ever.
Is a common cold, you know I'm bigger than a body and I'm sweeter than gold. I got sauce for hands, detective eyes. You never known something quite like the back of my thighs. Well, no baby, no, so own your shit, cause you're...
Hey gamers, it's Chris from ZombehGamers, and I'm here to do our review of Bioshock Infinite. Oh my god, where do I even start? I'm gonna try and separate it into a couple of different categories. There's story, gameplay, playability, I suppose. I'll throw in the difficulty of achievements and stuff in there as well, and just overall difficulty as well. If I can think of anything else, I'll throw that in. I'll probably do characters and stuff on that. So, I want to do this review as unbiased as possible, but I don't... Coming from a space where I want to do it unbiased, I don't think I can. I don't know... I don't think many of you know, but... Well, I think you guys know that if you've been watching my videos of Bioshock, it is my favorite game series, but I don't think very many people know how long... I mean, if you've been waiting for the game, you know how long it's been in production. And obviously they did a fantastic job with that time they had. I'll go to that later, obviously. But the amount of time that we've spent as gamers waiting for the game to come out, it's just built up this hype that's not only really... the good thing about it is it's not a false hype. I mean, a lot of games will bring out this hype, and then the game is overall either bland or it's not that great, and you sort of regret jumping on that hype train. But Bioshock Infinite, it builds from that hype amazingly, and yeah, I'm just glad I spent the last couple of years as excited for it as I am, because it paid off, because it is an amazing game. I'll start with story. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you guys know that if you don't know, the main objective is Booker DeWitt, the main character, is sent to Columbia, which is a city in the sky that distanced itself from America after attacking I'm pretty sure the Chinese. It was the Chinese they attacked because they had American hostages, and while America as a whole was trying to do it peacefully, Columbia just went and fired on them. I don't know what it did. Probably rocketed, missiled them. I can't remember. But they attacked Chinese straight out in the name of America. So the government, the Union, asked them to sort of step down and bring forth their arms and, give up, pretty much, to strip them from the Union. They said no, shot off into the clouds because it's a flying city. And, so you're the main character, Booker DeWitt. You've been set up there as a way to repay your unknown debts, and your objective to repay these debts is to bring the people you owe money, this girl, and her name's Elizabeth, and she's up in the sky, Columbia city place, and she's been up there her whole life, so she was pretty much raised up there, but she's being held captive, and the people you owe money to, or the people that want the money, want Elizabeth for some reason. You don't ask why. You're like, oh, this is a good opportunity, why not, I'll take it. But I'm pretty sure you don't have a choice either way. So yeah, so that's why you're up there. But the story itself, it comes across as a sort of a simple go up and grab the girl, save the day sort of thing. But the story it's so in depth. I enjoy the sort of game where you have the idea of what's going on, but having no idea of what's going on at the same time, and that's what this game does. Very, very in depth. Ending to what they could have done a much more bland thing, but it's Ken Levine, so of course it wouldn't be bland. Ken Levine did an amazing job. I've played Bioshock 1, I've played Bioshock 2, obviously, and nothing. I honestly think that they built on everything that made Bioshock. I'm going to choose Bioshock 1 as a standard here because it's obviously the better of the two. Well, in my opinion, it is. It took everything from Bioshock 1's story. I think Bioshock 1's story, then Bioshock 2's gameplay, then improve both of them and add them together. And that's what Bioshock Infinite is. It's personally, I revere Bioshock 1 above a lot of games. I mean, a lot of games. It wasn't my favorite game of all time, but the storytelling and the mood it set, better than probably any game I've seen. This game right here, Bioshock Infinite, beats that in a landslide. I wouldn't have thought it possible, but it does, honestly. And that's coming from someone who obviously reveres Bioshock 1. Yeah, so that's crazy in itself. But the storyline, can't go wrong there. I mean, that's the best part about the game, and there's no bad parts about the game. So the fact is you're contending against all these other good parts of a game, and the storyline wins overall out of those. The next, I should probably say, which is the next best thing, is gameplay. Actually, no, characters, but I'll sort of get to that later. Alright, so gameplay, the gameplay mechanics, amazing. So obviously you have your Vegas, or your plasmids, and your weapons. And it's in Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2, there was no combination of the plasmids. Like, you could use electricity, and then you could use insect swarm or something like that, but you'd use them separately. With this one, you can combine and increase the damage done if you use two Vigors together. So yeah, you can use these two Vigors at the same time, or one after another, but combining it to do so much more damage. And then on top of that, instead of having, like in Bioshock 2, the alternate mode you had was to hold down the trigger and you'd sort of spray whatever plasmid you had. With this one, you set traps for your enemy, so you'll hold it down and then you'll throw it on the ground. You throw it on the ground. Apart, it is in most video games. You'll know at least once or twice in a game when someone's about to ambush you. You'll know, you'll be able to set up. You'll be like bam, 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 set those things up. People will run through, get attacked by them. And the best thing is, if I've got 4 people running towards me, I've set up one trap, and one of them activates it, and they're all sort of like in the sort of same vicinity. They'll all get affected by it. So if, say, I throw down, there's a Vigor that lifts enemies up in the air. If I throw down that, and one of those enemies walks on it and they're on some of the same group, they'll all fly up in the air, and I'll just come out from a corner and be like, bam, 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 bam. Another thing I was worried about with the gameplay was that, obviously, you've got your left trigger for plasmids, and you've got your right trigger for weapons. Left bumper is swapping plasmids, right bumper swapping weapons. So it sort of leaves the aiming to the stick control. I mean, I like first-person shooters, and when I play first-person shooter, I usually prefer to have the aiming in on the stick. And the only exception being Halo. I think that's the only game that's first-person shooter that I will actually enjoy playing with the stick. I mean, even Bioshock 1, I don't think, yeah, you did. Bioshock 1 and 2, I don't think I zoomed in on my gun ever. It's just too much of a hassle. This game pulls it off. I mean, it manages to use the stick well enough that it could be, you could be playing Halo or something. Obviously, figured out a way to make it that little bit better. I think the aiming overall is just better. Though, if we're gonna just bring in difficulty for a second, once you unlock 1999 mode, which is like hardcore mode, insane mode, auto aim assist is off, and to you players, gamers who play out there without auto aim assist, you should be fine. But to people like me who just leave it on because it's default, I'm probably gonna find that a lot more difficult to aim. But nonetheless, I have confidence in the aiming that it should be good enough. But yeah, no, gameplay is fantastic. Bioshock Infinite can stand up on its own 2 legs with its gameplay without the story, though it wouldn't be a Bioshock game if it did just rely on the gameplay and not the story. So I suppose I'll cover characters now. So the main 2 characters are Elizabeth. I don't think if she has a last name, I have forgotten it already. Oh yeah, speaking of forgetting already, I have got episode 2 and 3 coming out of the Let's Play of Bioshock Infinite. It'll come out after this review now, but if you listen to the audio as I talk in Bioshock in Infinite episode number 2 and 3, you'll know that it was done. Those 2 episodes were done before this review, but they're all being done in the same 2-day course period. So I got the game at 9 a.m. yesterday, finished it, and it's now 3 a.m. in the morning the next day, and I'm reviewing it, so that's fun. No, but I honestly can't imagine after playing this game, another game I would rather stay up and put in the effort for, because it's just it's amazing. I said to myself, Chris, you've seen the gameplay trailers, and you've been waiting 2 years for this. I honestly assumed that this would become your favorite game, and I was absolutely right. The site I sort of look at the most to keep updated with news and stuff, they reviewed Bioshock Infinite the day before I got it. And I trust them the most with my reviews and stuff because they do it from a point that's completely based on their experience with the game, not on, they still do it on, like, standards and stuff. Like, obviously, it matters to them if it's up par with other games. And that's evident within the scoring of the game, but within the actual review itself, they'll usually, like, how they experienced it within the game and how it affected them and stuff like that. I didn't watch any reviews or read any reviews before the game came out, and I scrolled down to the bottom, and they rated it 100 out of 100, and I was instantly set again for the game. I was completely without any worries that anything would be wrong. Which I shouldn't have had any worries in the first place, considering it's Ken Levine writing it, but nonetheless. But yeah, so it just shows that even with my review here, it's not completely biased, in my opinion, that this game fucking owns most of the games I've played, being my favorite game, all of the games I've played, but you can see where I'm coming from. It's a lot better than a lot of the games, in my opinion, a lot of the games that have come out recently, and even ones that are coming out in the future. I mean, I said it again, I said it before, I assume this will be, in my opinion, Game of the Year. I can see that happening because if you play the game, or if you watch my Let's Play, and we get to the end, or you get to the end, and finally watch the end of the game, there's no words to express just how amazing that ending was. My hat goes off to Ken Levine because he did such an amazing job. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that in a video game before. I don't think ever. It's just, the concept was so good. For the whole game, not just for the ending. But I digress. It really comes from the gaming experience, and I won't talk any more about the ending or the future storylines. But yeah, so you got the two main characters. I think I just completely went off topic. Booker DeWitt, who was sent up there to rescue Elizabeth, who is like this chick who's up in this tower. That's one way to describe it. And she's got these mad, crazy superpowers. She can, like, reach into other realities. So you, like, be playing, you'd be like, hey, there's a turret. So yeah, I think it's just a fantastic addition to it, as opposed to, it makes the combat a lot more faster and sort of fast-paced. Only having that one terrapin at a time, and being able to switch between different tears at the same time. So, I suppose I'll go back to gameplay for a minute. I talked about guns and figures, but I didn't talk about gears. Gears are like, think of it like perks, but it's like set out as in like a uniform sort of thing. So like you've got your hat gear, your shirt gear, your legging gear, and your feet gear, and each of those will do a different thing. Like it'll give you, I don't know, I think one of the feet gear is you can backpedal at the same rate as you would be going forwards. So like it gives you that extra amount of maneuverability. And there's one of my favorite. Well, actually, no, I won't go into depth about them, but they are there, and you can collect them throughout the game. You get different gears on different playthroughs, which I think is actually really cool. Aside from the fact that you might find a gear that you like and not be able to use that in the next playthrough, it allows for more. You have to sort of change up your gameplay style, which is cool. I suppose I should cover graphics. There's nothing wrong with the graphics. There's no fault. Absolutely no fault with the graphics. Everything is beautiful. I mean, imagine taking all of the mystery and like the claustrophobicness, if that's a word, of Rapture, chucking that all in there, like all of that intensity of each of those levels, and then completely flipping it upside down and having those levels with bright blue skies, idyllic picnic scenes, like picnic scenarios. By that I mean like it's the perfect green grass with people sitting down everywhere, and it's set out how it's meant to be looking like. It's an idyllic American sort of world, city, and it is amazingly beautiful, the game. I won't spoil anything, but the scenery does get darker further on in the game, but it still has like a weird beauty to it. Think like Rapture in the Sky at that point. It's just really cool. It's not story related. I mean, I assume that you'd have to progress on during the day at some stage. I mean, it did take me like... Oh, that's another point. Replayability, the amount of replayability that's there is insane. I mean, for one, my normal playthrough, mind you, I was sort of taking my time with it and stuff, was about 15 hours, which is pretty good. I mean, I got to about halfway and, or 3/4 of the way, and I was sort of like, yeah, I kind of want to get to the end of it so I can sort of review it and everything. So I did go a bit faster through that. But for the main part of the game, I sort of waited around, sort of interacted with Elizabeth a bit more. I had a look around the scenery, but I didn't do any of the... I did some of the side missions, but I didn't collect all of the collectibles or anything like that, or achievements. But the replayability is extremely high there. You unlock 1999 mode once you finish the game. You can use a cheat code in the main menu, but if you're going to finish the game on medium, you might as well just do it through that. 1999 mode gives you... It's like, think insane mode for other video games. Playing on hard just before, and it is ridiculous. I mean, usually health kits will heal you for a substantial amount. These heal you for jack all. It's so much more difficult than medium, but I'm sticking with medium for the collecting videos. It's ridiculous. But so yeah, I've put up gameplay in the video somewhere, just to give you guys a taste of what it's like. If you guys want to see any more gameplay of it, go to the videos or the channel or whatever. Check out my Let's Play of it. The first episode is up at the moment. The second episode will be following this. But the first episode doesn't really have any combat in it. Neither does really the second episode. It gets more into the third episode where it has combat. But you get to see sort of like the art design, though not very many things I've seen on YouTube at the moment can capture the beauty of the game. So if it does look a bit washed out and stuff, it's completely my capturing software. It's nothing to do with the game. But yeah, the game itself is beautiful. So, but yeah, if that's basically just like cutscene and introducing characters and stuff like, introducing Booker and stuff like that. Definitely check it out. It's pretty cool to see. And I did cry at the end of Bioshock Infinite, but that doesn't make me any less of a man because it was an amazing ending. But yeah, so check out our videos. Check out our videos on Bioshock Infinite. There's not much I can say more about this game. This gets a perfect 10, perfect 100 out, in my opinion. You guys know that already from hearing everything, I'm sure. There's nothing I would change. Ken Levine and his team did a substantially amazing job. Superb job. So much so that I'm almost 24 hours into Bioshock Infinite related stuff. Don't think I've done that before. Yeah, no, I personally, if I could give my personal thanks to Ken Levine for the experience I had, I would. It's an amazing game. I suggest if you haven't got it, don't just be content with looking at the videos on YouTube. It's really an experience that you want to go out and play as a gamer, as long as you're into the kind of stuff that it is. Though I assume if you're looking it up, you are. But yeah, it's well worth the money. I got the Songbird edition, and oh my god, just as a side note, the Songbird edition is amazing. They did an amazing detail with the statue and everything. But yeah, so yeah, keep tuned to ZombehGamers, I guess, for the rest of the Bioshock Infinite stuff I have to do. I mean, I got the season pass, so I'll be doing the DLCs. I'm doing achievement guides as I go through. I'll do some tactics videos as well as I go through. So like, here's a quick tactic. If you're versing a handyman, which you guys should know what that is. If you don't, it's in the first video, it's not a spoiler. And you've got the Murder of Crows figure, or the Shock Jockey figure, which do like the same thing against enemies, except on Handyman, because the Shock Jockey figure does not stun them for longer than a couple of seconds, whereas the Murder of Crows figure will stun them for the full effect. I think it's like 5-10 seconds. But it's that extra amount of time you've got to distract him to attack him, and trust me, you want it. So, this is Chris from ZombehGamers, giving Bioshock Infinite a perfect 10. And yeah, just keep tuned to us, I suppose. If you guys want to see any more stuff that I didn't say I'm gonna do, just hit me up with a message, and I will see you guys later. Have fun.
This is Constantine, John Constantine, and I'm here on behalf of my friends at ZombehGamers to tell you to subscribe to that channel and like this video. You do that, and I'll keep sending these filthy half-breeds back to hell. We'll both do our parts to keep the balance, because sure as hell, no one else will.